Hi everyone, it's Maya from WholesomeYum.com, and today I'm showing you how to make keto banana bread. Now before you exclaim, bananas are not keto, I know, and don't worry, there are no actual bananas in this low-carb banana bread. How is this possible? Well, we're going to use a secret ingredient that tastes just like bananas, but without all the carbs of bananas. You'll have to watch me make the recipe to see the secret ingredient, but first, can we just talk about what it tastes like? You guys, this bread is amazing. It's the best. It's moist, it's sweet, and it tastes and smells just like real banana bread. If you've seen my video for keto pancakes, you know that I talked about almond flour and coconut flour creating a better texture than just one of them alone. The same is true here. We're using Wholesome Yum almond flour and Wholesome Yum coconut flour for this recipe, and it's gonna give your keto banana bread the absolutely best texture it can have. So don't swap one with the other. The result is not going to be the same. If you haven't seen the pancake video yet, I'll link that down below for you. The other important component here is the sweetener. I use Besti monk fruit allulose blend for all my sweet keto baking recipes. It tastes just like sugar and it's perfect in this bread. If you want to see more of my low-carb baking recipes, be sure you subscribe and you'll be notified as soon as I post more of those. I have more coming up this fall. Using Besti is particularly important for this banana bread because it's going to give you a really nice, moist texture, just like you get from using real bananas. This really helps with the moisture. It's available on my website and on Amazon. I'll link both for you down below, and the flours are going to be available there as well. Okay, who's ready to make some keto banana bread? Let's do this. I'm going to start by mixing my dry ingredients first. So I'll need 2 cups of Wholesome Yum blanched almond flour and a 1/4 cup of Wholesome Yum coconut flour. The coconut flour just helps to balance the almond flour so that it's not too heavy. And we'll add a tablespoon of baking powder. That's more than you typically need for baked goods, but trust me, you're gonna need that for this keto banana bread. And make sure your baking powder is fresh as well. We'll add 2 teaspoons of cinnamon, 1/2 teaspoon of xanthan gum. The xanthan gum really improves the texture and makes it less crumbly, but you can skip it if you like. And I've added a 1/4 teaspoon of sea salt here as well. We're gonna whisk all those dry ingredients together until there are no lumps. Now I'm going to set that aside, and the next thing I'm going to do is cream butter and Besti sweetener together. So I'm going to use 1/2 cup of butter. Make sure that it's at room temperature because this is necessary for it to beat evenly and not end up in little chunks. And we're going to add 2/3 cup of Besti monk fruit allulose blend. If you use a different sweetener, you might need a different amount, and you might not end up with a banana bread that's as moist, so I highly recommend using this one. And so you're gonna use the hand mixer for a couple of minutes. This is gonna introduce air, and you want it nice and fluffy. This is what we want for a keto banana bread. Next, we're going to add the eggs. So I've just added 1 egg here, and I'm going to beat after each addition. Make sure your eggs are at room temperature because if they are cold, the butter is going to solidify and nobody wants that. So I'm just going to add 1 egg at a time here for 4 eggs total. Watch for little shells in the batter. If you get one in there, no big deal, just take it out. I got one of those. So you're gonna keep mixing this until it's nice and uniform, nice and fluffy and frothy. And now I'll add the rest of the wet ingredients. So I will need 1/2 cup of unsweetened almond milk, again at room temperature so that the butter doesn't solidify. If you like, you can use coconut milk instead here, or even 1/2 and 1/2 or heavy cream will work as well. And now the most exciting part, the secret ingredient, it's banana extract. We are adding 2 teaspoons of banana extract. This stuff comes from real bananas. Don't use the imitation stuff. You will notice a difference in the final low-carb banana bread. If you want it to taste like real banana bread, you need to use a quality extract. So I'm gonna link the one I use down below. And I'm just gonna beat that again until it's nice and smooth. Now, this next part, I always struggle with a little bit because it requires 2 hands and the bowl is heavy, but we can do this. Okay, so while the mixer is running, I'm going to add the dry ingredients a little bit at a time. The reason I'm using a measuring cup here is because for me, it's hard to add directly from the bowl. If you're strong enough and you can add directly from the bowl, feel free. Whatever's easier for you, just make sure you just kind of add a little bit and then beat after each addition. It's gonna be a little runny at first, a little chunky, and then eventually it'll get thick like this. And now we're going to fold in the walnuts. I'm using 1 cup of chopped walnuts here, and I've divided those so half goes into the batter and half is going to go on top of the bread. Okay, so our batter is ready, but before we can add it to the loaf pan, we need to line it with parchment paper. So here's my little trick to do that. You flip the loaf pan over and then you cut away the corners just like this. And then after you flip it the right side up again, you can just insert it inside and it's gonna fit perfectly. The corners don't bunch up. I love this trick for all my keto bread recipes. And now you can go ahead and add the batter to the loaf pan. By the way, this is an 8x4 loaf pan or 8.5 by 4.5, depending on if you measure at the top or bottom. I'll link it down below so you get the right size. You can use a different size pan if you want to, but if you want a taller keto banana bread, this is the size you want to use. And I'm just going to smooth the top here so that it's nice and uniform. This bread doesn't rise a ton, it rises a little bit, but not a lot. So I do round the top a bit, and I'm going to add the rest of those walnuts that I talked about. I'm going to add those on the top. You don't have to do this, you can leave the top bare if you like, but I think that this sugar-free banana bread just looks so pretty with the walnuts on top, so this is what I'm doing. I like to pat the top gently a little bit to make sure that those nuts really stick into the top so they don't fall off when we cut the bread later. Last step, we need to bake our keto banana bread. We're going to bake this for 30 to 40 minutes at 350 degrees Fahrenheit to start. At that point, the top is going to be golden and it's going to look done, but it isn't. Then we're going to tent the top with foil and bake for 20 to 25 more minutes. That's how long it takes to actually be done. If you take it out too early, the bread is going to fall. Nobody wants that. So go ahead and take this out. We're gonna remove the foil. Don't need this anymore. And I'm going to use the toothpick test to confirm that this bread is done. So insert it into the center, all the way to the bottom, and check that it comes out clean. If it's clean, then your low-carb banana bread is ready. Once the pan has cooled enough that you can touch it, use the edges of the parchment paper to transfer to a cooling rack. This is going to prevent extra moisture from building up, which we don't want. And you do want this to cool completely before you try to slice it. My bread is finally cooled and I'm so excited to cut into this. It really smells like banana bread in here. Now that this is cooled, we can go ahead and remove it from the parchment paper. Don't do that beforehand or it's going to fall apart. And let's slice it. Okay, I'm excited to try a slice of this. Grab a plate here. Ah, just beautiful. Tear off a little piece. Look at that inner texture. Ah. This reminds me of banana bread from a coffee shop like I used to get before I was low carb. This is just the best. It's perfect with a cup of coffee. I hope you'll make this keto banana bread soon. If you do, snap a photo, post it with #WholesomeYum so that I can see it too. And leave me a comment. I love hearing from you guys. See you next time on Wholesome Yum, where I share easy, healthy, and keto recipes, all with 10 ingredients or less.